Hi, I'm Brenda, and you're listening to the Little Kingdom Warriors podcast, where we help our kids discover God through play. Are you overwhelmed by the weight of your never-ending list of things to do, but desperately want to invest in your kids' faith life? Are you tired of the same old colouring sheets and seemingly lifeless Bible stories that you're even struggling to sound enthusiastic about? Well, I'm here to help. I'm a lover of all things creative, an ex-primary school teacher turned stay-at-home mum and follower of Jesus. Let's walk this path together and transform our kids' lives with new and exciting ways to explore the Bible and help them become God's little kingdom warriors. We might not have it all together, but with God, and maybe a strong coffee or two, we've got this. Hi, I'm Brenda Cordes and you're listening to Little Kingdom Warriors. Today I wanted to talk about how to be content as a stay-at-home mum, my top 3 tips. 3 seems to be a number that I keep coming back to, but 3 seems to nicely sum it up without going on for too long. So as I go to record this, I've actually been a stay-at-home mum now for 4 years. Can't actually believe I'm able to say that. That's really exciting, and I am obviously going to be at home longer because I have a third on the way, and with my husband working a week on, a week off, it just makes most sense for us. So to start off with, I suppose I should give you a little bit of background, and I have mentioned it previously, but in case you're new to this podcast or you're listening to this episode for the first time, we actually struggled with infertility for about 2 years before Lily came along, and unfortunately I also had a miscarriage just shortly before she was conceived. So for me, I think the excitement around being a stay-at-home mum was just kind of a natural part of the journey because I was so grateful to have her, and I'd so desperately wanted to be a stay-at-home mum for so long that I did feel incredibly grateful innately. But I suppose that does kind of wear off sometimes when it gets tough, and you do start to lose that initial feeling of excitement and gratefulness for being a stay-at-home mum, because it is trying and it is difficult at times in amongst all the beautiful moments that you have in between. So sometimes it's taken a real focus on having to be thankful, and it can seem silly at first and it sounds a little bit ridiculous and sometimes it can feel fake, but it is so incredibly important to be thankful. So what's helped me is to remember that time is so fleeting, and I feel like I'm noticing it more and more now that Lily's already 4, and I look back and it seems like only yesterday that she was a little baby and I was holding her in my arms for the very first time. And that, because that time is fleeting, it makes you be more grateful and more thankful about the opportunities because they're not going to come around again. So for myself, that can be as simple as, taking pictures and then looking back at them and reminiscing, I suppose, and being thankful that I was able to be there to watch those beautiful moments. And one of the awesome things about being a stay-at-home mum is I get to experience all the firsts, and if my child was in someone else's care, I am sure I would miss a great deal of many first moments. The other thing that I've really come to appreciate and enjoy is Lily's questions, and sometimes it can get to me, but gee, we've had some hilarious conversations because she just asks questions all the time. I am really glad that I'm able to be the one to answer those questions. The other day we were having a conversation and she wanted to know if Jesus had toys in heaven, if Jesus had chairs in heaven. Does he have a table, Mummy? Does he have an iPad? Do we get to take our toys into heaven? Those sort of questions, I wouldn't be able to answer them if she was going off into daycare or something, and we have been so incredibly blessed that we haven't had to put her into care. The other thing I've really enjoyed is making memories and enjoying special moments and having little treats and stuff, just because So I think that also helps me to be a little bit more thankful, because you can enjoy those moments and you can have special memories created in seemingly mundane weeks and days. So, for example, just to give you an idea of what I actually mean, we might decide once a week. I often do this when Danny, my husband, is away, because sometimes I get a little bit down in the dumps. I've got to do this by myself and it's a bit of a struggle. But if you make some of the mundane things become more exciting, like, for example, dinner. So once a week, sometimes we'll go down, when Danny is away, we'll go down to where we live. There's a little free water park, which is fantastic. So we'll go down there and we'll take some sort of takeaway dinner, and we'll just go and enjoy being outside in summertime. So we'll go and have our dinner by the water, and then I'll let the kids have a play in the little splash park, and it just makes it more exciting. It's small moments and building up all these lovely memories. And I'm sure, hopefully, they'll look back and they'll be like, gee, that was really fun, when we used to do that when we were growing up. A few other things we might do is like take them to the park and go and have a picnic by the park. And also maybe planning some family days as well, so that when you are all together, you can have these lovely special moments. The other thing that has been absolutely integral to being content as a stay-at-home mum would be being in community. It's not fun being isolated when you're a stay-at-home mum, because you need people to support you. It's hard bringing up kids when you don't have anyone to talk to and to support you when the going gets tough, and to be like, yeah, I've been there, I understand what you're going through. So for me, something that has really changed my attitude is just being involved in activities. So whether that's being involved in a mum's group or just doing things that both the kids and I enjoy, that has been paramount to being content as a stay-at-home mum. The other thing that's really helped me be content as a stay-at-home mum is making sure that I'm filling my own cup so that I can fill others' cups. And sometimes we struggle with this word around self-care and the idea around self-care, particularly as Christian women. And I struggled with it myself too, because sometimes I felt like I wasn't doing the very best I could be doing if I wasn't present all the time. But I have realised that time out for myself is so incredibly important, whatever that looks like for you. It doesn't have to be glamorous. It doesn't have to be going and getting a mani-pedi, or going out to the movies without the kids, or staying away from them for a few days. But it can be something really small. Like for me, I really enjoy sewing and I enjoy being creative, and it is just a weight off my shoulders when I can have an hour or something just to sit in my sewing room without any distractions while my husband's playing with the kids and they're helping him in the shed or something. So I just find that I can be more present, and I feel like I'm a better mother and a better wife when I'm able to have some time to myself to fill my own cup. The other thing is, it's so important not to lose yourself when you become a mum. So when you think about filling your own cup, think about activities that you enjoyed. What did you enjoy before you became a mum? For myself, I always enjoyed doing things that were creative. So I have gone back to that, and I've also tried to get the kids involved in that too as they've been growing up, because I think it's important for them to be able to see that mum enjoys doing this and it makes her happy, and she prioritises also looking after herself, and they can be involved too. So when Lily was old enough, so my youngest Hugh, he is 2 at the moment, and he's a little bit scary in the sewing room at the moment. So Lily's responsible enough now that it's okay to have her in here if I'm doing something and I don't want her to be involved in it, if it's a bit too tricky for her. So in the beginning, she would just do things like, I would have a little box of things for her to play with while I was doing a project. And then I've actually started teaching her how to sew. So I started getting her involved in activities that I enjoyed. And with Hugh, sometimes he's come in as well, and both him and Lily, before they start fighting, are busy trying to fix one of my old sewing machines with screwdrivers, and just keeps them involved for a little while I'm enjoying doing something for myself. And that is a way I found that I can fill my cup even when my husband is away, because it's really hard to be able to fill your own cup when you are at home by yourself and no one else is helping you with the dinner routine and the bath routine and all that cleaning up and stuff. So I found that is incredibly important. All right, let's just recap quickly before we wrap it up for today. So my top 3 tips on how to be content as a stay-at-home mum. First, we talked about being thankful for the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mum. Remember, time is fleeting. The second thing I talked about was to be in community and be involved with others and be social, because it helps having a support network around you. And lastly, I talked about filling your own cup so that you can fill others' cups and make sure you're looking after yourself as well. I hope this blessed you and encouraged you in some way. And don't forget to sign up for my email list at www.littlekingdomwarriors.com. I send out a weekly update when my podcast airs and what it's going to be about. And if I have any YouTube videos, I'll send the files, the attached files, or any downloads to my email subscribers only. So get on that. And the other thing you can do is I have a Little Kingdom Warriors Facebook community. And if you go to the episode show notes, you can click on the link there and it will take you straight over to the Facebook group. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Hey friends, if this podcast encouraged you or made an impact on you in some way, I would be so grateful if you could take a minute to leave a review to help other people find my show. Don't forget to click subscribe so you are the first to know when a new episode airs. Hop on over and join my free Little Kingdom Warriors Facebook community, which I will link for you in the show notes. Thanks so much for listening, and God bless. I'll see you next time.